We're live. We we're live. I don't know why I'm that excited. I set this video up and I'm getting excited about being live. But yeah, we're live. So I got like this weird thing where I got the computer going on in the background over here, so you can hear the computer while I'm filming. Let's not do that. That might be a little bit distracting. But yo, there are people here. That's crazy. That's nuts. That's nuts. Yay! There was people actually waiting for this. Do you know how discouraged I was when I took a look to see who was waiting? Like maybe about 10 minutes ago, and I saw zero. I was like, I thought I did everything right. You know, I got the whole thing advertised. I let people know ahead of time that I was going to be doing this thing and be responding to questions and all that fun stuff. So, hello to you too. It's good to be back. It's been a while. I feel like I owe something. I mean, it's funny when you know somebody in real life that actually comes up to you and no kidding asks you if your channel is dead. So a little bit of background. Um, I actually do want to read this comment. This is one of those longer comments I kind of want to like read here. Let's see what it says. Been watching your content since last year, and I'm really ashamed I didn't discover you sooner. You got great stuff. Thank you very much. And I think that's the big question I had, which is, well, let me go back to the other story. So that other story, my best friend has a birthday party, and unbeknownst to me, his friend used to watch my videos all the time and actually might be on the stream because he says he like consistently tries to follow all my content, which is bizarre to me because I just figured on like a little nook in the internet people would be interested in this, not like real world and stuff and work and school. Oh, hey, Jeremy. There he is. How you doing, buddy? I gave you a shout out because you're that conversation we had a while back. It's so funny that I'm bringing this up in the stream like nothing, like no one has idea of what we're talking about, but like in legit, one person asked me, who's I'm just watching the stream right now, asking me if my channel is dead, and it's like, I don't know, which I guess is Hey, don't mention it, Jeremy. I'm glad you're sticking around. I had an idea for what I was gonna do this stream. I had like a slight idea on what the structure of the stream was gonna be, which was really I'm answering questions. You guys have questions. I'll go ahead and answer it. But realistically speaking, I am planning on trying to bring back the channel. It's just a matter of how am I going to do the content, because I had a chance to kind of like look back at the videos I've made. And a part of me thinks that when I was making the videos, specifically the Cartoon Palooza reviews, I had a style, and then for a while, I'll be getting to that one in a little bit. Thank you very much, Clay. I always felt like at one point I was trying to do different things, and I think that happens when you creatively just do the same thing over and over again. And I think the problem was, and I think at the time, is that every time I kept making a pivot, it was tough because when I say a pivot, like a creative pivot. So, sometimes when you're making a video or you're making a style of video, and you decide you want to talk about something else, like movies. There was like one video where I, you know, was talking about Reptart candy bars, which I probably threw a lot of people off. Like, why all of a sudden is he talking about candy bars? It's just, I don't know. Realistically, I just thought it was a good idea to do that. See, that's my approach to anything with these videos. If I like it, I'm gonna go ahead and make it. Why not? That's just what we're gonna do. Ooh, I got a bit of a double chin there. Not look good. Ooh, gotta go hit the elliptical soon. Anyways, so yeah, I just figured I'd ask, like, if I go back to making Cartoon Palooza reviews, I feel like if I do it, I would want to go back to like the style I originally had, because ever since then I always think about like what if there's different ways I could like creatively change it, but at the same time it's like YouTube isn't really friendly when it comes to like, and that was another reason why I kept doing those pivots over and over again, is that YouTube copyright laws would would be a little bit tough. You know, that's actually, I'm going to respond to that question. And the other one I'm going to respond back earlier in regards to favorite films. But yeah, I do think it'd be a good idea if I had themes, kind of like older Disney movies. Because for a while, there was at one point when I was blocking out at least a month to talk about certain content and certain animated movies. Um, one month I did the Disney live action remakes based on cartoons. And then I think I also did I think Cartoon Network, like just Cartoon Network themed movies or TV shows. And it kind of helped. And I think that also goes back to like what was helping while I was making videos is when I had like blocked out. These are the movies that I'm going to be talking about for like the next 3 months, 6 months. So, but yeah, I think it would be interesting if I do talk about the classic Disney movies and then maybe do like an evolution, like kind of like a challenge, like, hey, I've watched all the Disney animated movies and such. But I don't know, but it brings me back to like how I would do it. So let me see this question. If you returned to doing Cartoon Palooza, would you redo the opening with higher quality footage of the clips you've used? I don't know. I mean, I feel like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I had this intro that was commissioned to me, and the person that animated it, I thought she did a great job. The quality of that video is 1080. Realistically speaking, I don't see myself ever shooting in 4K resolution. Nowadays, you see a lot of content producers who try to do, who still use 1080 cameras, by the way. So you never see anybody, when I say 4K, I'm talking about like resolution, which I'm sure all you film folks probably know what I'm talking about when I'm saying that. Um, it doesn't make sense to like go a step up if all I'm doing is this, like point and click. There's no point in really getting a 4K resolution camera because I remember someone describing it to me and it made perfect sense. By doing a 4K resolution camera, it's like if you shot a city, you know, from a city top or like a hilltop or something, and you wanted like a certain area in perfect resolution, and you crop it out by like 3 by 3, and you have a shot up here, and you can zoom in and just see how crystal clear it is. Like to me, that is the only reason why I do get 4K so that you can get like that crystal clear resolution. But if I'm doing point and click, right, where the camera is like right in front of me, like about 3 to 4 feet away, you already see what I look like. I might even use my iPhone to make a review. But to be honest with you, I feel like I owe myself a little bit more. When I say owe myself, I just think I personally would do that, which may also be the problem, which is sometimes I get a little overwhelmed when it comes to like quality of the video, which at the end of the day is just people just wanting to hear me talk about animated movies. So I don't know. What's this next question here? Maybe bring back the Backman. Yeah, a lot of content over the past 11 years, and maybe you could do up. I thought about that. So shorts are kind of cool in a sense, and I really thank Animat from Animation Look Back for bringing this up to me, because I brought this up to him over about a week ago, where I was just like, shorts. Should I just take like clips from the old videos and just, you know, re-update them, or even just make new reviews of like the older movies? Because like I've had, as you've mentioned, 11 years worth of content. And there are certainly movies that I've watched back then that I would say I've definitely changed if I would have made it. And the one video I think I have the biggest, that the first one that comes to my mind is definitely Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius. Because I think when I was making that video, I was going in with one idea, which and it wasn't really a fair, bias-free review. When I talked about that movie, I only focused on the fact that I thought it was really bizarre that in the Oscars there was the there was the I got distracted there. I'm gonna get to that one too because that's a funny comment. Um, I the Oscars had the best animated film for the first time, and Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius was nominated, which in hindsight, 20 years later, you're like, that's how the Academy Awards are going to be remembered, by nominating Monsters Inc., Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius, and Shrek for their first annual Best Animated Film Award. I mean, listen, I got so many different opinions about the Oscars. I mean, listen, they got guys going up, slapping people, committing assault on stage. So you know what? I've got no more opinions on the Oscars. I think I'm done making Oscar-related content because the Oscars in like the last, I want to say like last 3 years have just been bizarre. Regardless of the decisions in the Oscars and whatever wins just being bizarre, I just think it's getting stranger and stranger. But anyways, going back to Jimmy Neutron, I think if I ever did remake a review, I would definitely give Jimmy Neutron Board Genius a more fair review. I even went back in one video and redid my rating for it and said it was more of a 50-50 as opposed to a straight up forgot about it. Which is another question. You know what? I'm gonna put out a poll because I think I can do that now. I can actually start a poll here. Check this out. The question is Brooklyn accent. Actually, no, I scratched that. Staten Island accent. Should I go back and have my videos? That's correct. It was the Chicken Little video. Do I go back to my accent? I mean, it comes out when I'm more comfortable sometimes, but it's mostly Jersey. That's just because I've been living in Jersey for like most of my life, and then I go to school in Philadelphia. I work in Philadelphia, and then that changes it. And yes, it was the Chicken Little video where that started. Let's see here. Yeah, the funny thing about the Gummy Bears intro was I did that because it was surreal, and I think when I first started the channel, I wanted to do surreal. I mean, I didn't have the filmmaking capabilities to do like a surreal. If there's like, back in the day, you had Filthy Frank talking about doing like surreal type of content, or even like Eric Andre type content. That's kind of the direction I always wanted to go for. Because like, when I first started, there was really a standard that out in the community I was making these videos for, in the, channel awesome type style of videos where you post your videos in a forum and people would respond to it, and it really felt like you were, restricted to like what you want to do. And I think I was one of the few people that didn't really want to do that. I mean, I was in the community obviously, and I made a lot of great friends and people I still talk to today based on that audience. But, is what it is. Given you brought it up in your very first review, have you ever actually watched... I'm from New York, obviously. Come on now. That's like asking if I've seen Goodfellas. Obviously, I've seen Goodfellas. I actually just watched it a week ago. I would say I've watched more seasons consistently than not. I can't say I would quote the series. It's weird because when the Sopranos first came out, I was too young. I would say I was still middle school. I wasn't actually. The last season was my freshman year of high school. That's when I was starting to watch it a little bit more consistently. And great show, especially when it comes to the psychology of mobster movies. There's a great podcast I was listening to. No, not a podcast. It was on the radio. Chris. Guy who plays Michael Imperioli talked about how when he was first approached to doing The Sopranos, he thought it was a comedy at first because Analyze That was coming out, and I think he had a bit role in that too, where he read the pilot. And if you really think about it, if you go back to that pilot of the first season, it feels more like a comedy than it does, or a parody of a mobster movie as opposed to like straight up mobster cinema, which nowadays it's like the holy trinity of mobster media: Godfather, Goodfellas, and whole run of The Sopranos, if you ask me. That's like asking a Texan, obviously. Which, believe it or not, I've actually asked a few Texans, and they say that King of the Hill is more representative of South Texas as opposed to North Texas, which was a very interesting, or was it North or South? Like, I've never been down there, so I wouldn't know. So, let's see here. So, there was someone asked me earlier that yeah, I'm still a big fan of Double Toasted, and every once in a while I do watch Spill.com. Great content. But going back to that last question I saw earlier, I noticed that some people were wondering, or at least one guy, one guy asked me if I ever what my favorite movie of this year was, or least favorite movie of this year. Well, I did see Moonfall. Guess which one that was? In case you didn't know, um, little known fact: Roland Emmerich, the director of Independence Day and movies you probably haven't seen in the last 20 years, because everything in the last 10 years is pretty forgettable, decided he was going to direct a disaster movie where the moon is crashing into Earth, and lo and behold, it's actually operated by robots. I spoiled it. I spoiled it, but I don't care because I don't think anybody's gonna watch it anyways. That is the worst movie I've ever seen in 2022. My favorite movie of this year. I have to think about this for a bit, which is funny because this is a film animation channel. You'd think I would know that like from the top of my head, but I don't know. Ooh, I got a spam. Let's see if I can. Oh, good. They held that review. That's good. Maybe I should do moderators, but I don't have. I think that's a little bit harder to do. Yeah, there's a bot. How do you get rid of that? See, this is how professional I am, guys. I'm so professional. This is all professional. This is what professional people do. Yep. Let's see. User in timeout. Report. Unwanted. See how professional this is, guys? Look at this. So professional. Unspam. There we go. So professional. I'm so professional, guys. We're gonna make that. This is professional. This is professional. 100%. I got teams of people, guys, working on this. Teams of people. They all took the day off for the holidays, so I'm taking up for them. Let's just say that. Professional. All right, what do we got here? Thank you guys for reporting them. Yeah, the Batman Chronicles was fun. I think that'd be a fun little experiment to do. I think there's just so much. In the time I made that, it was weird. Because, like, back then, maybe like 10 years ago, you had, like, an animated DC movie every once in a while, right? Now you get an animated Batman movie, like, every month. And, it's weird. It was fun. I think it's a cool little break from things to just make a month dedicated to like animated Batman movies because there's like a lot of interesting ones. I would love to talk about that one where he travels back in time. That's a thing. Maybe even the Harley Quinn animated series, which I actually did do a review, and I wrote a review actually before the pandemic of the first season of the Harley Quinn animated series. Really good show. Really enjoyed it. And I had it as more of an editorial style where I was kind of like talking about, just what is adult animation and where is it going forwards, which that in itself is kind of an interesting conversation too, because, we're starting to see more mature animated series. I would say like in the last 10 years, the best adult animated series was probably BoJack Horseman. There's a lot of other shows that I still haven't watched. In fact, that's another thing too, which is tough for me because reviewing TV series are hard. It's really hard because you gotta like do it by season, and there's a lot of content. And based on the style that I've had, I always felt like it was more suited for either one season or a multiple episode arc or a movie. So if I ever do a review, it would have to be just focused on like one area, which I don't know. That's what I mean. It's just it's interesting. So yeah, doing Batman Chronicles would be interesting just as like an actual theme, But realistically speaking, and I think, you know, um, if I ever do decide to do a go back to making the Cartoon Pools reviews, do you guys mind if I just do like 12-minute videos or like 7 to 12-minute videos of what I usually do, which is just this is the movie. Here's what I liked. Here's what I don't like. Professional. We're professional. This is professional content, guys. Got a team of people. Got a team of people working on this. We're professional. Okay, back to the other thing I was saying. Do I go back to the old shtick where I got the movie. This is what I got. Here's what I think. This is what I don't like. You like it. You don't like it. Worth it. Forget about it. It is what it is. Would that be okay? Or do you want more in-depth analysis? I don't know. I just don't feel. I don't think I'm as clever as a lot of people out there, and I think that's always been my problem with keeping this content up. Is the fact that sometimes I just get a little too ahead of myself. Um, but yeah, answer away. Um, do what you do. The risk of like 12 to 15s that'd be appreciated. So many more people make movie length analysis videos, and again, yeah, there was like one guy who like ranked every episode of The Simpsons. I think it was every episode of The Simpsons. See, I don't know. Did I ever do a midnight screening s show? Remind me of a video I did like that, because I don't think I remember doing something like that. Refresh my memory. Toyland Flores. Yeah, Ellis Mark. He did a ranking of like every episode of like this one show, and he did like a 7 hour video. Uh, I don't know if I have it in me to do that because I work, and a part of me feels like I'm gonna get in trouble if I'm gonna be watching a 7 hour video, or unless I was on a plane ride. I mean, I do plan on going to California next year for a trip. So if I decide I ever want to download something for 7 hours, I could probably watch that. But I think that'd be the only time I'm going to be watching something for 7 hours. But like, yeah, 7 to 12 minutes. That's my thing. Yes, they do, Clay. They do review. They do. There's a lot of Scooby Doo content. Like I would say, in the last 12 years, Warner Brothers has made. Yeah, there's so much stuff. Um, Batman movies and Scooby Doo movies. That's their that's their bread and butter. But yeah, and I think another question I had too, and this is something that I've been thinking about for a while when it comes to like making videos, is that if I do decide to pivot and do something else, how do I do that? Um, Lately, one of the things, and Jeremy probably knows this already, but one of the things I've also been getting into, and if you watch my TikToks, I got into writing with fountain pens, which is such a niche thing, but actually started because I wanted to go back and be more productive, and found that a good writing style, either because when I'm typing my notes or I'm typing my scripts on the computer, I so many distractions. I mean, you probably notice here how easily distracted I get. um I find that sticking it to just one quiet area where you just stay there and you just write and just focus on that, it's much more productive than anything else. And that's where I got into like the art of mindfulness and writing, mindful writing. And I find that doing that with a fountain pen is it's much better. If you guys ever want to get into it, and you get some nice fancy inks too. So funny enough, as far as animated movies goes, so there was actually a grid I made for myself of all the movies that came out this year, which, believe it or not, when it comes to all streaming, a lot of movies have come out. And, a lot of stuff too. The fourth, Hotel Transylvania movie, Turning Red, you got Buzz Lightyear, two Pixar movies in 1 year. Isn't that crazy? And then tomorrow I'm going to be seeing Strange World, so you'll be on the lookout. I might put out a short of my thoughts on Strange World. Haven't seen it yet, so that'd be interesting too. But like, I've only seen two of those movies. Beavis and Butthead, Do the Universe, and Minions: Rise of Gru. There's a reason why I saw Minions. So basically, I went to go see Nope with some friends. And you know how online there was a shtick where like people would as dress up in their finest, Sunday suits. I actually did see, four kids, and I'll probably talk about it if I end up reviewing the movie. Um, there is actually a four people that I came across that were dressed up in their Sunday best, going to watch Minions: Rise of Gru. I took a picture of them, and the best part about it too, you got one guy who really took it serious. He's the ringleader. He actually has like his prom suit. They're all in high school. You know, first freshmen in college, young kids, right? So the dude has like his friggin' prom suit. His girlfriend's with him because why not? She support her girlfriend, do everything. She got her dress on. Their buddy dress is not that good. One guy did not get the memo. He did not get the memo when he put on a pirate costume with the knickers and the big jacket. It was the most unique group I've seen. And when I review this movie, I will post a picture of it just for context to show what it was that I came across, and that's what I saw. I didn't see that many animated movies so far. I would say, the last movie that I did see that's probably the worst was probably going to be Minions. It's not that good. I wouldn't even say it's the worst movie I've seen ever, but not that good. Also noticed that I'm appreciating the fountain pen love. Love that someone's brother also likes to, you know. Angry Birds 2 movie review made a comment on that video. Oh, the vlogs. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think I might change those into shorts. I think the short style suits that a little bit more. Like, I get out of the theater, I'd be like, hey, yo, what up? This is what I saw. Here are my thoughts. Yeah, for longer videos too, like I could see it putting on the background, but like I said, I think it really depends on like what I'm working on if I'm watching that, because sometimes I really want to watch what I'm watching, so I don't get too wrapped up into it. Let's see here. I am gonna see the new Mario movie. Trailer looks pretty good. I was actually gonna mention that as I was writing my Minions review. I did mention that out of all the things you could say about Illumination's animation, a couple things you notice cliches that they've kind of like stuck around with. There's one thing that I feel like they got going for them. It's that they have very unique character design when it comes to adapting pre-existing source material, but also having it fit an Illuminations brand. I would say it's a unique style. I think for a while there were a lot of studios like Blue Sky that did it really well too. In fact, you don't even really see computer animated movies. You watch a movie by Pixar, Pixar's made it. You watch Illuminations, I feel like Illuminations makes it. But like when you're watching a Dr. Seuss movie, you can say, yeah, that's Dr. Seuss, but then you also say it's Illuminations. When you watch the Mario trailer, that's yeah, it's Illuminations, and it's also you know it's also Mario, minus the ass. Can you believe? So a little known fact: if you were following this early on, there were people that actually legitimately got upset over the Mario trailer that the guy didn't have any ass cheeks. The character had like a flat butt. And a part of me is just thinking the internet is just a wonderful place to be on. Promise, there's no alcohol in this. This is just straight up carrot juice, so no judgments. I mean, reading those comments, you feel like you might want to have a drink or two. Let's see here. Yeah, I am probably Aiden Gallagher. Aiden Gallagher, look at that. So Aiden Gallagher, the guy, the kid from Umbrella Academy, does movie reviews. Color me interested. That just made my night. Is that the guy we're talking? Aiden Gallagher, number 5 from Umbrella Academy, does reviews. Really? That's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool to like just do smaller reviews that straight out of my car or something, kind of like I did before, but like in the short style. But it's weird because at the end of the day, I sometimes just get overwhelmed with like what I should put out, how I should put it out, right? And if I do it, am I going to focus more on the way I'm doing this. Because, like, for a while, I had a very interesting way of editing my videos where I would anticipate bits that are going to be recorded and then anticipate bits that are going to be shot face to face. But then over time, I realized it was better for me to just shoot it all the way through. For one, it avoids copyright issues because I could just have myself look at myself. That came out a little weird. Like, see myself shooting it, understand what I'm going to say, and just go on. And it's less editing for me too. But I noticed that I used to like try to do like multiple takes, but for a while I just kind of got comfortable with just knowing what I'm gonna say. So I might just go back to that style. If anyone has no idea what I'm talking about, that's perfectly fine too. It's just me talking about my work process when it comes to doing that. I got a quick shout out to y'all. 10 people. I got 10 people watching this. 10 people watching this professional. We're professionals. This is professionals. That's what I should change the title to this video. We're professionals. I got 10 people watching this. Thank you so much. Now I got 11. Thank you. That's the professional. The professional working on. The professional people watching this. Got my hair did, shaved a little, made sure I made myself look presentable. Because this is professional. Professional video making. Good content. Then I'm gonna see like one, check mark down. It goes from 10 likes to 9. Because we're just that professional, guys. Where was I going with that? I don't know. We're professional kids, people. Let's see here. Puss in Boots to celebrate the release of the Last Wish. What about just reviewing the Shrek movies? Starting from I did Shrek 2 last, doing Shrek the Third, and How I Found Holy Spirit, Shrek the Third, and then doing Forever After, because we're a cringy video maker with cringy Shrek would be kind of interesting. Thank you for getting me 12. Thank you for getting me 12 likes. That's awesome, guys. But yeah, I think it'd be interesting to talk about that with the release. Also, did you all watch the last trailer to Puss in Boots? You realize they know the fan base, like they know Shrek is still a unique internet fan base going on here. Um, they got a bit. And if you watch it again, you watch the trailer. They got All Star playing at the point when the star is hitting the earth, which is just like, it's just cool. That's just nice, guys. That's just cool. It's awesome. It's professional. Yeah, they did use the song. Someone's talking about the Batman. What do y'all think about the Batman? Just put that out there too. Very interesting movie. It's weird that they're doing another Nolan take on Batman. I feel like we've seen that take, and it also made me think too, like, why does Hollywood hate magic? Like, there's no sense of real magic in movies anymore. Everything is science. Which for a while, when I was growing up, that was pretty cool. Like, that was the reason why I liked Marvel growing up, was the fact that, instead of, you know, magic and things just happening out of thin air, writers just pulling things out of their ass and be like, wizard did it. Why can we fly? Because we can. It's magic. There was always like a reason why things happen. Like Stan Lee had this great quote talking about how Thor flies because he hated the fact that Superman just flies. There's no real science behind it. Whereas he's like, I'm gonna develop a character who throws a hammer so fast that that's what lifts him up and it creates the illusion of flying. Like, to me, that's cool. But after a while, it gets kind of boring because there is no sense of like magic in movies anymore. Everything is just rooted in something, and it kind of takes away the mysterious aspect to it. I like the type of science. I like the type of magic where, and then maybe it's because you see something for so long that it doesn't change. But like, imagining magic realism where it creates a sense of uncertainty, and it creates a sense of mystery, surrounding why exactly a character can actually do that. And it could create unsettling moments, or it can create moments of just shock. I would say probably one of my favorite movies this year was Nope, for that reason. And I'm not going to spoil anything if anybody hasn't seen Nope, but Nope was just so exciting in a sense that it really brought back this sense of terror by showing you something that you think you know, except you don't know, that you end up just saying nope. To me, it's pretty cool. I mean, yeah, they use the science, the science of the character. They explain the science of the character, which I feel like they don't need to do it. It kind of made it feel like a M. Night Shyamalan movie at times, which is my worry because I love Jordan Peele's movies. My fear is that Jordan Peele can fall into a trap and become like Shyamalan, where after a while he'll have hits and misses, and people are going to be focused more on the misses as opposed to hits. But so far, he's been pretty solid. I would say most people just don't like us as much, which is weird because I revisited that movie too, and it's got some great moments when it comes to doppelgangers. But yeah, there's a stop motion animated film from the Czech Republic called Toys in the Attic, and the American dub has big actors like John Cusack and Forrest Whitaker. Or Joan Cusack. That's fun. That'd be interesting. What's going on here? Damian Wayne? Get Aidan Gallagher as Damian Wayne. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. The problem and my fear is that Aidan Gallagher is getting older. I don't know how they're going to keep up the Umbrella Academy with him getting older, because at some point he's just going to turn into a man, when the whole thing about the Umbrella Academy is that he's a boy and he's supposed to just kind of like be a boy throughout, unless Gerard Way figures out something, and I trust him. He's from Jersey. He seems like a good guy. He seems like he knows what he's talking about. I've seen your review of the Wacky Adventures. Yeah, that is childhood right there. I never knew that those videos existed when I when I did that. That was a Patreon review. I might bring back the Patreon. I might do that. I might not do that. But yeah, I had no idea that those movies ever existed. Um, the 20th anniversary of Treasure Planet. Now that would be a fun review, because I'm watching Strange World tomorrow, and the first thing I thought about when watching Strange World is that this looks like the world of Treasure Planet, or it looks like Disney is trying to do something they did with Treasure Planet. The character designs just throw me off. They look too cartoony. Like, it's almost like they tried to harken back to the character design of the 50s, like with the humans. Like, outside of the world, everything kind of looks like Avatar type character design with the aliens. But overall, it seems like they're trying to do something more creative and inventive when it comes to that, which is pretty cool, I guess. But I don't know. Let's see here. What other comments we got going on? Let's see. Yeah, I think we're pretty much on track here. So yeah, I mean, just going back to what I mentioned before, when it comes to what when it comes to I was just reading the comments, that's why I got sidetracked there. When it comes to making my videos, I think I get so overwhelmed with how I should make it that I tend to just forget to just make the friggin' thing. And another aspect too that threw me away from making videos as much, and I want to know your guys' impression on this, is COPA. Which nowadays I just make it clear that the videos are not made for kids. But it's tough when you're making content that has material that is made for children. When you're a guy my age, I'm a 31-year-old dude watching cartoons, which I guess that is the joke, but I don't know. It is what it is. But I think that's another aspect too that kind of threw me off from making videos again, is the fact that I'm talking about content that is essentially just made for kids. Funny enough, speaking of which, there were two Blu-rays I found, great deals considering it's Black Friday. The Flintstones, the whole series. I got no, it was the first 2 seasons on Blu-ray, and I also got Top Cat, the whole series. I loved that show growing up. Maybe I should make a video on that, because I just love that show. That'd be pretty cool. Just curse like a shit sailor. No shit, Sherlock. There we go. Not advertised for children. And then they won't monetize your videos because you got inappropriate content. You get flagged for it. So it's weird. You gotta hit that point where you can't make content that is too risky because children are watching it, but then you can't make content. But then if you're making content for kids, you get flagged, and then they could like take away all your shit, which is weird. It's like what's the balance there, YouTube? I think that's another aspect that just like got me away from making as many videos is just the fact that you know it's hard to balance that. So there isn't. So I see people keep bringing this, keep bringing. You know what? I'm not flagging this. I'm showing this content because people need to see this. Fuck them kids. I want to take that, edit that into a video if you ever wanted to be my guest. So there is actually a Marmaduke movie. I just kept seeing that over and over again. But there's another Marmaduke movie. You know what? And I think I also did like a quick view of like, what friggin' movies came out in 2022, but there is a Marmaduke movie that came out. They're still making they're still trying to make Marmaduke a thing. They're still trying to make fetch happen. Don't make fetch happen. Don't make Marmaduke happen. It's only made for one thing, and just stick to that. I'm surprised no one's really talking about Wednesday. I mean, that show came out, and I haven't had a chance to see it yet, but that looks 10 times better than what MGM was doing with the Addams Family. Catherine Zeta-Jones as Morticia Addams, like, come on now. A lot of people were shitting on Luis Guzman as Gomez. If anybody's ever like read the original cartoons that this shit's based on, the guy that actually makes perfect sense because the whole point of the dynamic, like the whole thing with Charles Addams, is polar opposites. It's like instead of light and funny, everything is dark and gloomy. So you got Morticia Addams, smoking hot, and a pudgy fat dude, you know, dark complexion, light complexion. They complement each other basically. So like, having Luis Guzman play, Gomez is actually brilliant casting. And he's a fucking genius. I love Goose. Now you guys got me cursing, so I'm just happy that I'm just like laying out what I'm actually thinking. So, let's just go ahead and just curse like sailors now. Let's see here. There was something else I saw earlier that I wanted to. Yeah, apparently there's a Marmaduke movie. It's on Netflix. Isn't it crazy just how much material we got on streaming? It's fascinating. I mean, it just makes more sense. It's just it doesn't make sense as much to just go to a theater and watch a movie anymore. Like you just go on streaming. Like today, because I love those first two Guardians movies. Is the fact that you got the holiday special. You know, have your opinions on like holiday and Christmas. Whatever religion or faith or whether or not you celebrate Christmas or not. Christmas movies and specials and holiday specials are a thing. And seeing James Gunn wrap himself up, no pun intended, in a holiday special is very unique. I'll be more than happy to share my thoughts on it because I think it's interesting. I think if you guys like the Guardians movies, I think you will enjoy this. There's a couple things I would say that maybe you've missed. They may have missed an opportunity on. So long story short, basically, as most Christmas specials go, character wants to, cheer someone up, so they use Christmas. That's like the basic formula for every Christmas thing ever made. Is like, someone doesn't have the spirit. We're going to go ahead and give them the spirit. So two characters decide to give, another character the Christmas spirit, by doing something legal. And that is the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. If you have Disney Plus, highly recommend that you check it out. Couple bits in it just like really confuse me when it comes to like the lore that they're trying to establish themselves for the Guardians world, but it's it was okay. It was pretty cool. I'll say this as one spoil. I'll give Groot's grown up, and the way that they're animating Groot now just makes no fucking sense to me. Like, I guess they're trying, and one thing I appreciate at the same time is the fact that every movie Groot ages differently. You got old Groot, you got a baby Groot, you also got, teenager Groot, or I guess preteen Groot. But now we get a Groot that just looks beefy, but looks like a suit. And it feels unsettling because the head is too small. Groot was designed so that his head is bigger than his actual body. If you watch the special, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Basically, the head is way too small, and it looks unsettling. And then they got, you know, Vin Diesel getting really into it, which works sometimes, and other times just I don't know. Mantis though, favorite character in the special, and the best thing about the two, if you ever do watch it, is the fact that you know, it does lead continuity to, like, you know, where the next Guardians movie is leaning towards. They don't do it too heavily. They kind of establish that it's doing its own thing, or as David Pumpkins would say, its own thing. Um, but yeah, that's what you get from the David Pumpkins. No, now I'm talking. Damn it! I talk about David Pumpkins now. Wonderful, beautiful. Cartoon All Stars to the Rescue is another favorite. I did review that a while back. That was actually a request for me when I went to Magfest many years ago. Someone gave me the VHS to review. He's like, "Yeah, do what you want with this." I'm like, "Okay, let's go ahead and make a video." It just sucks when I guess it's not really a problem anymore because the review landscape has changed in so many different ways. But like, you know, back then in YouTube, it was like if you're gonna do something, someone's gonna talk about something else, and you're gonna be ripping them off, which I never really understood was a problem too, anyways. Because like when you're making something, you're kind of making your own anyways. Like you can copy someone's style, but you're still you doing something else, and they never patent it. He does a deviation from someone else, and then that guy does a deviation from someone else. So you do your own thing. You talk about something, it's still your thing, you know. And it really bothered me because, like, you know, and that leads to that negative self talk that I develop for myself sometimes, right? When you know, someone's talking about, you know, whether or not someone did something else, and it does get kind of overwhelming sometimes. Who do you think? Obviously, who do you think would be a live action Gru? Obviously, Steve Carell. I don't think anybody else has got the character down. I don't think anybody else can really even do that, to be honest with you. So there you go. Let's see. I think we can answer maybe a few more questions and then cap it off because I had a feeling that I was only going to aim to do about an hour. I really didn't see myself doing anything longer because really this is just about answering questions because it's been a while since I've done that. Which is another thing too. Like maybe have a monthly stream every once in a while where like y'all have questions and you just want to shoot them my way. Just go ahead, shoot them my way. I decided not to monetize this video because I think at the end of the day it's just, you know, interesting to just have a video with no ads for once. Ain't that rare. So let's see what the pinned comments. You know what? It looks like everybody wants me to stick to the Staten Island accent. Thank you. Thank you. You make me proud. Little known fact, I've been going back to my roots. I've been visiting some family down in Staten Island more. Do not take that any further. I prefer to keep my personal YouTube life separate. But it's a unique town. Market prices are fucking horrible. Never move to Staten Island. Don't even move to New Jersey. And if you do, probably South Jersey. Property values down there. I'm waiting for that market bubble to pop though, because buying a house nowadays, don't do it. Not worth it. Where was I going with this? Yeah, Staten Island. Great neighborhood. Property value fucking sucks. Let's see here. What else do we got? Am I going to collab with Animat again? I mean, I still talk to him. I mean, sometimes I go jump onto his stream on the Crazy Cartoon podcast, and you know, I'm a guest host there, and that's fun. It's tough, you know, and that's another thing about it too is like if I'm making videos, I'm not where I was where I was just like constantly fixated on like the views or constantly fixated. I'm just grateful that people actually still watch my shit. Let's just say that. I mean, I'm just happy that y'all are still watching this. And for about 11 years, someone mentioned that 11 years, 16 people are still watching. I got a crowd of 16 people. I'm like, imagine me in the middle of a fucking park. I'm like, I got 16 people out there in front of me. How crazy is that? You don't see that no more. I mean, I'm not here trying to get, you know, convert people to the house of the professional house. By the way, this is professional work we're doing here of Joey T, you know. This is just people who are interested in what I have to say, and that blows my mind with someone that has, you know, as having anxiety and horrible anxiety sometimes. It's just interesting. It's fascinating. Fascinating stuff, guys. It's cool. It's interesting. It's funny that everybody still watches those really old videos because I look back at those stuff. I look back at that stuff and I'm just, ugh. The decisions you make, you just have to accept that is what it is. And that's the mindset I have with a lot of those videos. I watch them again and I remember what goes into it, but I'm also like, it's like, I get it. These videos can be kind of cringy. I had and I was very proud of these Spider-Man videos. So for a while I did like a series of my thoughts on some Spider-Man series. And I obviously had to give my honest opinion about a certain series that somebody on YouTube, and he made a response to that video of my video of the Spider-Man, the 2000 one, the one with the really bad CG. And I responded back to that video. I'm like, listen, I made that video. I didn't have a lot of the resources that I wanted to, but that's the video I made. Maybe I might remake that video, but I feel like if I do it, it's probably going to be out of anger, and I don't want to make something out of anger. Which is ironic, because it seems like a lot of people on YouTube like that. Like it when someone's responding to something very angry and over the top. I don't want to make something in response just out of pure anger. To me, it wouldn't make sense. Is the Shark Tale review where you start your reviewing career? That is correct. My reviewing career. It's not even the fact they call it career is kind of interesting. But yeah, my first review was Shark Tale in 2010. It's about 12 years. It would be 12 years ago. On Christmas would be the last time I made this video. You guys got to remember, I was making Cartoon Palooza reviews when I was still a teenager. I'm 31 now. That just blows my mind. Just interesting, You start something then, and you look at it now, and you're just like, yeah, that's happened. That's a thing. Let's see, what else do we got here? Oh yeah, it would be interesting to see if Media Hunter's still making stuff. I mean, there's a lot of people I used to, collaborate with. I guess I missed this comment. I saw someone talk about the Garfield movies. I actually had a planned reviews for like the 2 Garfield movies that came out. For a while, I was just kind of waiting. I'm still waiting for that. So the director of Emperor's New Groove is going to be making a Garfield movie with Chris Pratt, which is another thing too. A lot of people aren't really crazy about Chris Pratt just being an animated character and just being Chris Pratt. Like even the Mario trailer, I think that's the only thing people hated, is the fact that Chris Pratt just sounds disinterested with doing a Mario voice. It's like, come on, man, you're playing Mario. At least do the accent or something. And he's like, "A mushroom kingdom, here we come." I don't know. But yeah, they got long story short, there's the Garfield movie that's coming out where yeah, it's gonna be directed by the guy who did the Emperor's New Groove. I think I'm gonna wait for that one to come out. That'd be interesting. Be pretty cool. Here's another question. I'm gonna put it on a poll actually, where I just I already started a poll. I think I have to close the poll. Answer viewers' questions. Well, that's what I've been doing. Been doing the Q&A. How does that work? Oh, so I ask a question. See, again, so professional. I'm learning so much today. See, you got to remember, the last time I did like a stream like this had to have been maybe almost 2 years ago. No, it probably had to have been a year ago. Maybe 2021. It was around the time I actually got asked by Animation Legends to promote their website, which they're doing pretty good too. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, see, that's the thing. He was doing a bad impression of Lou Albano's voice. That's what I've noticed, and it's just, yeah, I don't know. I'm out of stuff to talk about. Guys, gotta help me out here. I was thinking I was gonna go for the full hour. I was like, I'm gonna give it 45 minutes or an hour, just like my videos, short, simple, to the point. That's what she said. Whole self-deprecating humor doesn't go wrong. Let's see here. Yeah, everyone's still talking about Mario's voice. A lot of people are still thinking about that because it was just so disinterested. I mean, listen, I can't hate it because there's a lot of aspects that I'm looking forward to it. I mean, you got Charlie Kelly. I know his name's Charlie Davis. He's Charlie Kelly playing Luigi. That's just perfect casting. I mean, come on. How could you hate that? Can't go wrong there. You notice how the longer and longer I'm talking, like the Staten Island is just starting to come out. That's just what happens, guys. That's just what we do. Live action reboots that would work and those that wouldn't. Great question, guys. So for a really long time, I always thought that the best animated from animation to live action, like sometimes you got to think about certain things. You got to think about, is this better suited in live action? Like there's some shows you watch and you're like, why is this animated? And then other times you're watching some, you know, live action shows where you're like, this would actually work out better as a cartoon. That's kind of the mentality I go with, like seeing something in live action with like, you know, and you also, there's two things I think about. So in an interview, the creator of Archer thought it would be an amazing idea if they had the budget of a James Bond movie, and they created a movie, but and they'll have live action actors doing Archer, but their voices are dubbed by the characters of Archer. So you have like a live action Archer played by John Hamm with the voice of H, dubbed over with H. John Benjamin's voice. Aisha Taylor's probably gonna be playing herself, but I mean, if they did like recast her with like, I don't know, Hail Berry and have Aisha Taylor's voice on top of it, that'd be fucking hilarious. But to me, that would be a really cool, inventive way of making a live action reboot of Archer, is if they keep the same creative team working on it. Gargoyles to me is another movie that I think would be a great live action reboot. I was really annoyed when Jordan Peele dropped out of it and saying he wanted to focus on original projects, because when watching Nope, I always got a sense that by having Keith David, a part of me was wondering if that was ever within the conversation. David Kaluuya also sounds just like, you know, a younger version of Keith David. So maybe if they ever do that, or if he's a producer of it, that'd be pretty cool. That'd be interesting. Um, let's see. Best animation. Yeah, I agree. Black Cauldron. I think I made a video on that too, where I said that Black Cauldron could work. I also think, you know, a live action Lilo and Stitch movie would be interesting. So, hold off. Don't get them too mad on me. I think that would be really interesting because I think about the movie. Shoot, now I can't think about the movie anymore. Where the Wild Things Are, where, you know, it's a live action movie of the children's book, but it takes a more somber approach. I feel like Lilo and Stitch is made to be more somber, but also, you know, more metaphoric when it comes to like growing up with an extended family. That I think it would be really cool to see, you know, a, you know, Spike Jones-esque take on Lilo and Stitch. That'd be pretty dope. Just my 2 cents. Creaky chair, guys. So professional. Or I'm gonna have a guy fix that. I'm a hire guy. His job is to just fix chairs. Professional. Let's see here. I said the same thing about, yeah. He sounds like a young version of Keith David. It blows my mind. Let's see here. I love a live action Atlantis. They did that. It's called Stargate. That's live action Atlantis. I think they would fall into that trap way too fast. Do you think the idea of swearing is wrong? What the fuck do you care? Just kidding, Mr. Cunningham. I do not know how to pronounce your first name. I apologize. I'm gonna act like I'm going to fix that. SNL sketch features John Hamm with Michael Bublé. I will probably have to check that out. And yeah, that's in case you didn't know that already. Jordan Peele was going to do a Gargoyles movie, but in an interview, he stated that he wanted to focus on original movies and original projects, because for a while he was attached to produce and maybe direct it. So he's even backing out on producing it, which, you know, I just think it's a missed opportunity. I think that That would be interesting. I actually thought about a musical version of Ice Age. Imagine if Ice Age were a Broadway show with animatronics like The Lion King. Be interesting. See what y'all think about that. Jordan Peele should direct a amnesia movie or an Outlast movie. I do not know what those things are, but I guess that would be interesting. Um, y'all are losing me with all these deep cut references to stuff. I'm not that smart, guys. Very professional. 11 people. We are an hour over. We made it an hour over. 16 likes, 11 people. That's dope. I still use dope because I still live in 2010. But that's awesome. That's really cool. I got 12 because I made a dumb joke somehow, some way. Yep. James Wan's pretty cool. Could totally see him doing Silent Hill. I think I'm going to take one more question, and then I think I am going to wrap it up. But just putting that out there, my next video is probably going to be Rise of Gru. No release date in mind as to when I'm going to have that video out, but I'll probably do something. I might even just do a quickie with Strange Worlds tomorrow when I go see it, and we will go ahead and find out. But that's kind of where we're at right now. I hope I answered everybody's questions. This was fun. This was interesting. I think I'm good. Are you guys good? Did I answer all those questions? Did everybody get a chance to one at a time share their thoughts? Again, I'm just another gratitude. I mean, it's it's tough because I never. Yeah, it's nice seeing you too, and I'm glad you're still sticking around. It's just nice to know that the channel is not. People are still coming back to this. It's there's a part of you that gets critical and hypercritical when it comes to stuff, and sometimes you just need to silence that, because when you get stuck focusing on the negative, that's all you're going to see. And for a while, that was what was happening, and I think I'm at a point where I'm not listening to that, and if I just make something, I just make it, and whether or not someone likes it or not, that's their problem. Everyone's entitled to it. What are they gonna do? I mean, what are they gonna do? Sue me or something? I mean, unless I'm gonna cause physical damage to someone, that's fine. Making a 7-minute video talking about how much I hated something is not gonna do anything. Which, by the way, also did happen when I reviewed Delgo many years ago. Thank God that video is not out there, because the director actually reached out to me telling me that he was mad at my video. Which I was like, I'm like in my 20s. I'm just some guy in my 20s, like some kid in my 20s, and you're a director of a feature film coming down hard on a kid or something. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But listen, this was great. I'm glad I did this. I'm glad y'all are sticking around. I'm glad y'all are still watching my videos. I do this again. It'd be fun to make something, but just keep watching. Just keep being on the lookout. I'll put something out there. But it's always good hearing from you guys. So I think I'm gonna call it a night. But thank you again. Take care.